Okay, the next thing we want to look at, and it's a doozy, is something new to 4R7, and that's called Qmesher. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just delete out the subtool. We don't need it. I'll go ahead and duplicate our particular Dynasphere. All right, what is Qmesher? What can you do with it? Where do you find it? All right, so we start with a particular subtool. I'm going to go ahead and hide one of them. We're going to scroll all the way down, and that's just left-clicking and dragging. Okay, left-clicking and dragging. Go to Initialize. It's here. All right, so what is it? We can do a Q cube, Q sphere, Q cylinder on the X, Q cylinder Y, Q cylinder Z. This is the resolution on the X, resolution on the Y, resolution on the Z. Let's go ahead and just click the Q cube. Well, it's a cube. Yeah, but if you hit Shift F, you'll see each bit of the cube is like all nice and squared away for you. Let's go ahead and change the resolution to say 3, 3, 3, and click the Q cube again. So there you go. Control Shift. I can Control Shift and click on any one of these pieces. Now you can see that the way the Q cube is set up, two sides are the same thing. Top and bottom are yellow, front and back are golden yellow, and the sides are this greenish kind of color. Well, you really can't do a whole lot with it yet, but the beauty of it is you're going to see. Let's go ahead and go to our brush, and we're going to hit Z, and then we're going to hit M for the Z modeler brush. All right. So instantly, what does that do for us? Well, I don't know. Let's go ahead and move our mouse over it. Oh, well, all these things are indicating, well, what does any of that mean? Oh, whoa, wait a second. You're kidding me. You mean I'm doing stuff on the fly? Yeah, ZBrush created this absolutely phenomenal suite called Qmesher. All right? It's literally, you can build geometry within this as you need to on the fly. I'm going to hit Control Z. I don't want those right there right now. It has infinite functionability, to put it mildly. The things you can do with this, look at that. If you, let me zoom in so you can see. When you are getting near an edge, it highlights the edge for you. And right now I'm in symmetry, and I want to keep symmetry on right now. But it's saying, oh, do you want to do something with the edge? Well, with edges, what do you generally do with edges? You generally add edge loops. All you have to do is left click and hold, and I can drag it, and I can drag in any orientation I want for this. Let's say I can do that. I can do the same in here, and I can like pull it in there. Okay. The point, I can click it and I can drag. The face, I can pull it in, for instance. You know, pull it out, pull it in. Pull this out. Weirdly enough, it's like Dynamesh, but the functionalities are different. But it's basically just as endless with the things you can do with it. All right. For instance, if you hold down your Alt key, you can paint these faces so they're all white. It's now seen as one polygon, even though it's not. It's one polygon, so I can actually pull it all out now. And as you can see, I get now the whole face can pull forward. I could say hold down Alt, and I'm only clicking on these faces. Again, it will temporarily see them as one piece, and I can now pull those out. All right. I'm sure you're starting to get an idea of what you can do with this stuff, because let me tell you, it's just wow. But it sees each face individually. All right. And you can push and you can pull. As you can see, that now just inverted that and deleted that, or deleted out where that one face was. And that was just left clicking and pushing. I can do the same here. Left click, push. Now, because that was an edge, it's going to give me something funky, so we probably don't want to do it on that one. Let's try something down here. Left click and push. There you go. I mean, if you're making puzzle pieces or some sort of geometric illusion, this could probably be pretty cool. And there it is in perspective, by the way. We weren't even in perspective. So now we can get it really cool. Get an Escher type of thing. I just turned the perspective off. All right. Now, everything, of course, has functionability in here. Let's do actually, let's go to the timeline, and we're just going to pull this back. And I'll do one more time. Bump, bump, bump. All right. So, for instance, the face, all I'm doing is hovering it. I'm just hovering. I'm not clicking on anything. If you hold down hold down the space bar. Oh, you can't see it. It's way up here. Oh, how am I going to show you this? Oh, no. That's something I had not considered. See, this is the menu that comes up with it, and I have no way to show you that. See, you can flip faces, extrude, and everything. If you do the edge and you click it, oh, there it is. Thank goodness. Gotta love that. All right, so anyway, on the edge, if you hold down your shift key, hold down your space key, it's saying, okay, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to bevel it, bridge it, close it, collapse it, crease it, delete it? Do nothing. I don't know why they even put that one there. Extrude it, insert edges. That's the default. On the edges, the default is insert. You can inset it, you can mask it, you can move it. You can do an auto radius, brush radius, infinite radius. You can create a poly group with it. Q mesh, scale, blah, 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 blah. All right. And on the polygon, it's not going to fix it. Why will it? ZBrush, you need to fix this. Unfortunately, because of the way I'm recording, there's nothing. This actually comes in. That's actually in the center of my screen on my computer. But on this one, and then with me doing the recording, it comes in way off. Actually, I've never even tried recording this on my own computer. It probably is way off on that one then as well. All right, so you'll have to explore what you can do with that. Just again, hold down your hold over any, just mouse over any polygon, and you hold down your space bar, and you'll get functionalities. What do you want to do? Extrude, whatever. Okay, now you want to. And right underneath it is, okay, you want to extrude, but you want to modify it. Or what do you want to do with that? Same way with the verts. If you select over a vert, you can see it wants to do something. Hold down your space key. What do you want to do? Do you want to bridge it, crease it, delete it, do nothing? Extrude it. Do you want to make it curved? Do you want to split it, stitch it? Do you want it to slide, for instance? And what's the target result? Do you want it by brush radius, infinite depth, infinite X, infinite X, Y, Z, etc.? So there's a lot of things you can do with this. And by the way, as you'll notice, as I'm, for instance, even just holding over this particular vertice, it's giving me a direction. Either I can pull that vertice out and, in the, I guess, what would technically be towards the camera, or I can pull it in this angle, for instance. See, I can pull it just in that angle. I can pull it back now. All right. And I can pull it straight down. I'm actually snapping, and I can feel it snapping. I'm holding my shift key down, and I'm actually snapping this up and down as I'm working with it. Do a Control Z. All right. Again, Alt you can just paint this on, for instance, and then click it out. I alted it to paint it, and then I alted it again, and I can deselect, Alt, and then I'm smoothing it right now. I'm holding my shift key down and smoothing. Again, a lot of things that you can do in Dynamesh, you can do in this as well. But it's one of these things where it's just, you can just keep going with what you're doing with it. Oh, and by the way, it's also doing the flip faces on this because that was the last thing I clicked. Well, let's go ahead and click move here. So now I can go grab this and see that. Now I can move these right out, or I can move them in. You don't want to move them in like that because then you're going to actually have intersecting polygons. See how it goes all wonky right there? But you can actually now move this in and out and do all sorts of stuff with that. I'm sorry that when I hold the space space bar on my keyboard, you can't see all the stuff you can do, and that's a shame. That really is a shame, because you can do a lot with the faces. All right. Oh, by the way, a real quick one on the edges too. Let's say you don't need all these edges. For instance, if you hold your Alt key down, just click on an edge loop, you see it erases it. Alt, Alt, just Alt, do Alt, Alt. And then I can go right back in and add in edge loops just where I need them. For instance, if I wanted to. Clicking and dragging, just clicking and dragging. Boom, boom. All right. That's one of those that we can do a lot with, and we'll actually use this to create a quick proxy for the mausoleum. In fact, by the way, if you want to look at your transpose, if you turn that on and let's say shift this here, click and drag, you can still affect this model the same way you can with any model in ZBrush with the transpose. I'm just clicking and dragging this thing. I mean, I can do it in this direction and scale it down, whatever. It's endless functionality. Again, one of these things that ever since they've added this is just one of those that's really great and fun to play with.